Online is pleased to be bringing you this webinar today, Secrets of Attracting High-Value Clients, or How to Attract Affluent Clients. And we are here with Dan Chappell. He's the wealthy travel agent. He is one of our most popular columnists at Travel Research Online. He's an educator. He's a speaker. He is an award-winning, well, I would say award-winning, but I do know best-selling author on Amazon. His book, Get Your Ship Together, is best-selling in his category. I'm sure he'll tell you a little bit more about that. But more importantly, he's been in the travel industry for over 25 years, and he's owned his own travel business and worked for some very reputable travel companies, which he'll probably tell you a little bit about. So he knows what he's talking about when he talks about attracting high-value clients. So we're all in good hands today with Dan, and now I'll turn it over to him. Dan, welcome.
Well, thank you, Lee. Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming out today. I have to tell you, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude today because we've had almost 1,000 people signed up for this webinar. We have people from who are staying up late and some who are getting up early from all over the world, from I think I saw New Zealand, Australia, the UK, as well as Canada and the US. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules to learn a little bit about secrets of attracting high value clients. Now, I do this presentation usually twice a year. And the reason I do it, typically I do it in the fall and the spring. And the reason I do it in the fall is because in 2 days, your sales year, for all intents and purposes, starts September 1st. Okay? Everything that you sell, for the most part, between now and the end of the year is going to count towards your 2019 revenue. And why is that important? Well, it's important when it comes to your commission levels, co-op commitments, how much support that you may get from a particular supplier. So it's also important to know that a lot of the high-end trips, your Alaskas, Europe, and more exotic destinations are typically booked in the months of October and November. Now think about that. Because of the cost involved, they tend to book up now to travel into the summer of next year. Okay, and as we found out with destinations like Alaska, it's a pretty solid destination. There's not a lot of inventory out there to work with this. So one of the things that I do want to make clear from the very beginning is that anyone can sell affluent travel. Anyone can attract affluent clients. A lot of people, the question I probably get more than any, believe it or not, is, well, Dan, I'm not a member of Virtuoso or Signature or Ensemble or Travel Leaders or what have you, so I can't sell that product. Well, there's nothing further from the truth. Anyone, any travel professional anywhere in the world, as long as you're accredited, can sell high-end travel products, just like you can any other kind of travel product. So I want to make that very clear from the very beginning out there as we go through there. Okay, so my objective today, and for some reason this is not working for me.
Click in one more time, Dan. Let's see if we can wake it back up. There we go.
Okay. My goal for you today is I want to help you hack away some of the fears, some of the mysteries, some of the misperceptions that you may have about attracting high-end clientele. I already gave you an example of one. Anybody can do it. Okay, anybody can sell affluent travel. Does the thought of having a conversation with someone that you perceive to have wealth or power, do you find that intimidating or fearful? I know I did it one time. It's when you're dealing with people that maybe make more money than you do, live in a nicer home, drive a nicer car, have high-profile jobs. It can be intimidating, and it can be fearful for people sometimes to approach. Sometimes people look at them and say they're not approachable, and nothing could be further from the truth there. How about asking those same people for money? Okay, when you're selling high-end travel, you can't be afraid to ask for money. And for those of you who've read my book, you know I use a term called what's your pucker point? And we all have a pucker point. A pucker point is that number that makes you uncomfortable. I've had it. You know, I'm sure most people do. At one point, my pucker point was less than $10,000. Then it started going up to $20,000, $50,000. How about $75,000 or $100,000 plus? How does that feel to ask someone to pay for a vacation that could be more than you've ever made in your life or more than your home might be worth? People spend six figures regularly on luxury vacations. The problem is not theirs. The problem is us. We're the ones who are afraid to ask for the money. And I remember the first time I ever made a six-figure sale, I was sweating bullets. And it was one of the most uncomfortable things that I had ever done. But you get through that. And you know what? When they say, yes, here's the check or here's the credit card number, you're like, oh, that was easy. Okay. So you work through those numbers until you get what's comfortable to you. How about when you go to conferences or you know your mastermind groups and other things that you do, and you hear people bragging about the world cruises they sold? Now, keep in mind your typical world cruise is going to have a commission that's a minimum of $10,000. A commission of $10,000. How does that make you feel? Do you feel jealous? I know I certainly did. You know, before I sold my first one, feel jealous. You feel, you know, envious is another word that you use to do that. And I always ask myself, and you probably do the same thing, you know, why not me? Why can't I sell a world cruise? Why can't I sell one of those high-end products like that? Why can't I attract those type of clientele? Well, the question I turn around right back to you is why not you? Okay, why not you? And believe me, I've heard all of the excuses. I've heard them, you know, as an agency owner from the folks that I worked with. I've come up with them myself. When I was the vice president of sales at WinStar, I would hear this when we were trying to get people to sell WinStar. I'd hear this all the time. I don't have those kind of clients. My clients only want the cheapest price. They don't want to spend that kind of money. I don't live in an area that has wealthy people. I don't know anybody with any money, and so on and so on and so on. There's excuses after excuses after excuses. But I want you to believe this, okay? Like many of you, I struggled. I struggled to attract affluent clients. You know, with my agency, we were bread and butter. My bread and butter was the Royal Caribbeans and the Carnivals and the princesses of the world. I didn't have affluent clients. I didn't know how to sell to affluent clients or attract high-end clients. I even joined a high-end consortia, you know, the same one that had a big conference earlier this month in Las Vegas. And what they gave me were great tools and great products to sell. But it really didn't help me attract affluent clientele. Okay, it wasn't until I, almost went bankrupt and discovered what the secrets were of attracting those high-level customers that my business literally changed overnight. I'm going to share some of those with you here in a little bit. So some of the things I'm going to share are going to, help you change the way that you do business. Okay, but only if you apply them. Okay, if this is your fourth webinar of the day, make a mental note. I want you to commit to taking down one or two things that you can apply to your business. Just one or two things that you can start doing today that you'll learn from today's presentation. And I promise you, it will affect the way you do business. And if you do it on a continuous basis and in a repeatable process, you will start seeing results from that. So the question is, why luxury, why niche, why deluxe, why high-end travel? Okay, why? Why do we want to do that? Why do we want to attract high-end clientele and sell this type of a product? Excuse me. Well, the opportunity is simply too large to ignore. It's simple as that. The luxury cruise inventory increased by 45% in the year 2016. It will double by the year 2020. And it will double again, I believe it's by the year 2025. I read a statistic just recently that there are either currently serving or on order 73 ships that will cater to the deluxe and luxury cruise market. That's huge. That is an investment of billions and billions of dollars to increase that inventory and go after the demand there. Luxury river cruising continues to grow. The beautiful thing about river cruising, it's a lot like ocean cruising. There used to just be one class of river cruising when you got into it. Now it's like ocean cruising where you've got an entry level, you've got a mid level, and you've got a luxury level. And at the luxury level, that continues to grow and that continues to expand and continues to get better worldwide. You're starting to see brands that come into the North American market from Australia, you see brands from Germany, you see European brands that are starting to serve the market in North America because it is the hottest place to do business when it comes to river cruising. So river cruising is growing exponentially, as are specialty cruise and tour operators. You know, I'm on LinkedIn. I think I've got 5,500 business associates in my network on LinkedIn. And what I'm seeing a huge uptake in is safari operators in Africa. Okay, that is an area that is growing in leaps and bounds as adventure travel starts to take off, as is small yacht type cruising. There's a company called Offshore Outpost Expeditions that has I think it's a 135-foot yacht that carries 12 guests, and they go fishing up in Alaska and down in the Sea of Cortez. A lot of these specialty tour operators are growing. You see it with Alaska Dream Cruises in a market like Alaska, you know, getting off the beaten path as people become more adventurous. So the opportunities are there. It's growing. Now, baby boomers control over 50% of the market when it comes to discretionary money in the marketplace. We all hear about millennial, right? Well, the millennials are today where we as baby boomers were 20 years ago. Right now, your target market should be, for the most part, when you're talking about high-end travel and attracting high-end clientele, you should be focused on the baby boomers because we have the time, and I include myself because I'm born in the last year of the baby boomers. We have the time and we have the money. Okay, the millennials will get here. Just give them some time. The other generation that you want to look at is generation, I believe it's X, that's right behind the baby boomers. While they're not real deep, they are pretty wide, and they've got a great source of discretionary income as well. So we want to focus when we're looking to attract high-end clientele. We want to focus our efforts on the right people, and that's the people who have the time and the money to travel. So do you want to take advantage of this opportunity? Just type yes into the chat box or no if this isn't for you. Lee, what are we seeing?
We are seeing a ton of yeses.
Yes. In fact,
yep.
I'd venture to say that if you didn't want to take advantage of the opportunity, you should probably have your head examined because it is just something like we've never seen before in the industry. I want to share this with you. And I'm very sincere about this. If you are willing to put in the time and the effort to educate yourself, and I don't mean just product education, but I mean learning about the type of clients that you need to attract, learning how to sell to those clients, learning how to service those clients, you can succeed in doing this. You can succeed in attracting high-end clients, and you can succeed in growing your business as part of that. But as many of you have probably discovered, just like me, joining a high-end agency or consortia isn't always the answer to your prayers. In fact, a lot of the folks that I do personal coaching with are part of these high-end consortia or agencies, but they don't have the clientele. It's like building a store, but not having anybody coming in through the door. So how do you attract luxury clients? Okay, that's the big question of the day. Well, the first thing you have to do is you need to make the affluent traveler or the luxury traveler, and I'm using these words interchangeably, as a part of your overall sales strategy. Okay, it needs to be a written part of your sales strategy and how you pursue your business. Okay, because right now, the way most folks tend to service affluent clientele is they'll get a phone call or they'll get an email saying, you know, I'm interested in taking a Talc River cruise, or I'm interested in Mikado Safari, and their hand goes up, pick me, pick me, pick me. Okay, I can give you this, I can give you that, I can give you the cheapest price. Okay. When you do that, you're not adding any value. You're not giving anyone a reason to do business with you. What you're doing is putting yourself into the same mode as everybody else out there, competing on the price. Now, we get kind of jaded with that because, when you're looking at a commission that's in, got commas in it, frankly, it could be 1,000 up to 10,000 plus dollars worth there. It's easy to say, I give, but that's not what they want. They don't want you to give. They want you to serve. So as part of your strategy here, you need to commit to developing a percentage of your business, not all, but a percentage of your business to developing high-end clientele. I get it. Your bread and butter is your Royal Caribbeans and your Carnivals and your Princesses and your Globuses and your things of the world like that. That's your bread and butter. The gravy money, the real money, is going to come when you start dealing with your higher end clientele. And when I'm talking about higher end clientele, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that we're talking about high end product, luxury product. I was on the Norwegian Bliss touring it a couple of weeks ago, and if any of you have ever been on that ship and been up into the Haven, my gosh, that competes. It's comparable with anything that I've seen on any very high-end luxury vessel, but with all the amenities like the go-kart track and things like that a lot of us kind of like to do. So you want to develop a percentage of your clientele, and over the goal here is to grow it over time. See, this isn't something that you're just going to go in and it's a get rich quick kind of thing. This is a long-term commitment that you need to make to your business to develop that. Now, there's 3 reasons why we do this. First of all, it's profitability. Okay, higher commissions and higher fees come from fewer transactions. When you have fewer transactions, that frees up time for you to market to more higher end clientele, more high value clientele, and bring them in and start selling them as well. If you think about it, let's say the commission is $1,000, which is a very low end commission when we're talking about high value clientele here. Okay, let's say it's $1,000. How many mass market type transactions would you have to do to earn that amount of money? Let's say it's your average is $200 as your commission right now. That's 5 transactions. That's 5 times as much time, 5 times as many people, 5 times everything than what you have with that one. Okay, and I would venture to say that, at least in my experience, the higher end clientele tend to be a whole lot nicer than those that are just price shopping and looking for lower end product there. Number 2 is targeted marketing. You want to identify who it is you want to do business with. Who is what they call an avatar? Who is your ideal client? I have a coaching client that came to me recently that, she is tired of dealing with all the bottom feeders. She's tired of dealing with the people that beat her up all the time. She has a certain type of clientele she wants to work with, and that's great. We identify who that is. Now that we know what that looks like, we can go out and find them, okay, and start attracting them. And that's what you want to do. Instead of taking everything that comes your way, you want to make sure that you have an ideal client that you want to work with that you're attracting. Okay, and that you're looking for, so that you can let the others that may not be ideally what you're looking for, you can refer them somewhere else or just not pursue them at all. Okay, so when we're talking about our sales strategy around your high value clientele, we want to be very targeted. We want to be very surgical about that. And then we want to choose our partners. Okay, nobody succeeds on their own. You're going to have a team of your attorney, you're going to have an accountant, you're probably going to have a coach, but your suppliers are also your partners. Okay, don't think of them as an adversary, think of them as a partner. And so you want to choose a couple of them, not a bunch of them. You don't want to spread your business around to everybody. You want to choose a couple of them and work with them almost exclusively. That way you're building up revenue, you're building up reputation, you're building up favors. So when you do need some help with some things, you've got somebody that you can call, and they're going to be more reliable and more likely to help you out with that. So this is the basic part of your strategy, is focused on profitability, targeted marketing, and partners here. Now, the second one that I have here is surface level positioning. Now, this is essentially looks matter. Okay, if you have a website that's a cookie cutter website from your consortia or from your host agency, and it looks just like everybody else's, and it's got all the deals on it, and it's screaming price, everything's price driven, you know, if I'm an affluent clientele, if I'm a luxury buyer, I'm probably going to pass on buy there. Okay, I'm going to be looking for something more specific, something that looks more like what I want to purchase. Okay, you see here, this picture that I have here, I actually just pulled this picture off the internet. It's in Tahiti, and I Googled luxury travel advisor, and Margie Arnold's name came up in that script. I literally just laid her name on top of that. That is a very elegant, it screams Tahiti. This is something that's going to draw in affluent clients versus something that's a cookie cutter thing out there. So you want to make sure that your personal brand is reflected in your web design. Also, the products that you feature within your website. You know, if you're claiming to be a crystal specialist, you know, don't advertise Carnival on the website. Make sure that everything is congruent and consistent with what you're trying to offer and what you're trying to attract. Okay, the one that this is a big one. You know, I have a pretty large mailing list of people who have opted in for my newsletter, and I would say probably 2/3 of them have a Gmail, Hotmail, or Yahoo email address. And so if you're using an email address like that in your business, I'm going to encourage you to spend the 20 bucks and get a professional domain and email. In most cases, your name is probably available, like mine. Mine's danchappelle.com. It was available, I got it, and my email is dan@danchappelle.com. It's a professional domain. Okay, that's one of the things that people are going to look at is, are you a real business? And when you have a domain like that reflects your business, whether it's the name of your business or your personal name, it's all going to reflect in what you have here. Personal travel photos. This is another one that I just pulled off the internet. I think this is very elegant. It screams to me upscale. It's a travel picture with the Acropolis in the background, but it's very elegant and sophisticated. Okay, it's not your typical picture of that you see on most websites is boarding a cruise ship or at a conference with a lanyard around your neck kind of thing. Okay, you want to make sure that your website is your storefront. You want to make sure that it reflects what it is that you're trying to sell and how you're positioning yourself. A great example I think is realtors. For years and years and years, realtors would always drive Cadillacs. Now they drive Lexuses, BMWs, Jaguars, what have you. But the reason was that they wanted to give the illusion, give the sense that they were successful. Okay, that's the same thing that we're trying to do here with your website. Your website's the first thing that people are going to see. So you want it to make sure that it reflects your personal brand, the products you're selling. You want it to be professional and simple and attractive that's going to pull people in. This is a key strategy that you have because most people are going to find you at some point on the internet. Now, who you're seen with is also important because that helps to add credibility. So when you're at a conference, make sure you get your picture made with the cruise line representatives or the tour company representatives. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you there is take your lanyard off. Don't make it look like you just went through a receiving line. But when you're taking pictures with the maitre d' at a very high-end restaurant, or you're having your picture made with the captain of a ship or the hotel director of a hotel in London. Okay, that's what people are looking for. They're looking to see who you associate with as well. Is it congruent with what you're trying to do and what you're trying to attract? So that's your next strategy there. This one, Dr. Thomas Stanley, who wrote this book, Marketing to the Affluent, you probably have heard of another book he wrote. It's much more well known, called The Millionaire Next Door. Now, he was a researcher on affluent, how to cater to the affluent, what they buy, how to sell to them, and everything else. And in his book, Marketing to the Affluent, The number one way to attract affluent clients is to be a specialist or an expert in your chosen field. Now, that could be real estate, that could be financial products. It's also very true with travel. Okay, if you really want to attract affluent clients, you need to become a specialist. And we all have areas of expertise that we either have now or that we can develop. But there's generally three areas that you want to look at. First of all is destination. Okay, when people are traveling, and I don't care if it's their first trip as a married couple or they're on their 100th cruise, they want to go somewhere. They already have a destination in mind as far as where they're going. So that's what they're going to look for first, is a destination specialist. So, pick a destination that you're interested in. Now, it could be Tuscany, it could be Central Europe, it could be the regions for the river cruising in the Danube, it could be in Africa for safaris. But pick a destination and immerse yourself into it. Now, there's a great tool that's out there because we can't all go and spend, 100 days a year in the destination that we're specializing in. The tool is called YouTube. A couple of years ago, I was asked to give a talk on Dubai. Well, I had never been to Dubai. I knew nothing about Dubai, but they insisted that they wanted me to give this talk for them. I said, okay, fine. So I immersed myself. I got on YouTube. I looked at every video I could find on how those buildings are built, how they get so tall, how they cool them off, how everything about Dubai, so that when I finally did give that talk and when I did finally go to Dubai, I already felt like I had been there a couple hundred times. Okay, so you can use the resources that are there at your disposal to help immerse yourself. It really helps if you've been to a destination or a region, and you can continue to get there. The second thing is product. Okay, obviously they know where they want to go, but how are they going to get there? Okay, so in a lot of areas, it could be by cruise, it could be tours, it could be specific hotels, but whatever your area of expertise is, okay, now you're starting to draw more people in. So if let's say you're a Norwegian specialist and you've got all the fjords and the cities and everything there that you're an expert on. Well, what's the best way to see the fjords? Via cruise ship. So now you've picked a couple of suppliers that we talked about earlier, and you immerse yourself into those products as well. So now not only are you drawing expertise as a destination specialist, you're also drawing as a product specialist. Okay, and the third is people. And people is in the sense of not individuals sitting in the backseat of a limousine kind of thing. We're talking about groups of people specializing in travel for civil engineers, lawyers. In fact, there was a recent article in Travel Market Report about a lady who had been in the law profession for a number of years, started a travel business, and that's what she caters to. She caters to attorneys and other folks into the legal profession, and they tend to flock to specialists. So the number one way to attract affluent clientele is to become a specialist or an expert in your chosen field. In our case, it's travel. So we choose a destination, we choose a product, or we choose a group of people, or all of the above. Now, the question is an advisor still an expert if nobody knows they exist? It's kind of like asking the question, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a noise? Well, the answer is obviously yes. And Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series of books, very wealthy in his own right, has stated that the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everybody else is just looking for a job. So we want to focus on building out our networks, because this is where we're going to really and truly start attracting the type of clientele that we want to have in there. Now, trust in advertising, the number one source of advertising, the number one trusted source in advertising is recommendations from people I know. And this is by the Nielsen companies, the same people that do your TV ratings and everything else. And you can look, they broke it down by generation. Across the board, recommendations from people I know is number one. Okay, when we start getting into branded websites and things like that, it's more important with the Gen Zs and millennials and X. But when you get up into our target, which is for high-end clientele, it drops quite a bit. Okay, so by far, what our customers, our potential clientels, the ones we're trying to attract or looking for, are recommendations from people they know. And if you're an expert, then they're going to be more likely to refer you. So how do you leverage your network? Okay, this is what I call direct referral marketing. Okay, most people can tell me, what the repeat business factor is, but they can't tell me what their referral rate is. Okay, we all have things that we put down at the bottom of our signature line. The greatest compliment you can pay me is to refer your friends and family and that kind of thing. Okay, but how often does that actually work? The beauty of this and being able to leverage your network is it ensures that you can get to the clients that you want. Okay, you're attracting the type of clients that you want based on your avatar and your expertise to get to them. Okay, and this is all based on the strength of weak ties. It's a program that I've been teaching for quite a few number of years here, but this is the best way to do it. So we've all had friends and family that have come to us and said, hey, I want to take a trip. Can you help me out? Give me some information, blah, blah, blah. And you give them all the information, you give them price quotes and everything else, and then they go dark. You don't hear from them for a couple weeks. You don't hear from them, but then you hear that they booked somewhere else. Okay, well, there's a reason why they do that. And the reason is that they don't want to jeopardize the relationship they have with you because you're someone that's close to them. Okay, they'd rather give their business to someone who they barely know. Okay, and that's called a weak tie. So pretty much 10 to 15% of the business leads that you get are going to come from people that are close to you. And at any given time, we have 25 to 30 people that are close to us at any given time, the ones that we're in contact quite regularly with. And this includes your customers as well. Now, 65 to 70% of your leads are going to come from acquaintances at the second and third level, meaning these are people that you might have met once, you might not have known at all, but they are close ties with people who are close to you. Okay, now hopefully this is all making sense. Statistically, after the second and third level, it drops off exponentially from there, but you're going to get the bulk of your business from this circle that says weak ties. So if you know that that's where it's coming from, doesn't it make sense to have a systematic process to get to those people using scripts and other things? So what we do, and this is how you leverage your network to attract those clientele. You may not necessarily, within your immediate circle of influence, your immediate group, you may not know anyone who is an affluent traveler. And if you've heard me before, I'm the first to tell you that I believe that everyone has a potential world cruiser in their database. You just don't know it yet. So you use the people who are close to you to get introductions to people who do want to travel in the way that you do. So let's say you're a river cruise expert and you want to get to start selling river cruises, more river cruises, growing through your referral network. Okay, you don't just say, well, who do you know that wants to take a river cruise? Okay, you go to specific people and you say, as you know, I'm an expert in river cruising. Who do you know that would be interested in taking a river cruise on the Danube at Christmas time of 2019? Very specific, drilling it down, asking for who you want. You're not asking just for a referral for somebody to buy anything from you. You're asking for a referral for them to buy a specific product from you. And that's what you use the people close to you for, is to get the introductions to the people who are actually going to do business with you in the long run there. Make sense? Okay, so the next 10 to 15 years are going to be like anything that we've ever experienced in this industry before. I mean, it is amazing what's going on here. But we're facing a huge problem. We have, as a retail channel, we've got a big problem here. So according to Travel Weekly and their 2017 industry survey, the focus on luxury sales is down 5%. In fact, with the exception of vacation packages and river cruises, it's pretty much down across the board. all the way across the board. And this is all agencies. This is your host agencies. This is your larger agencies. This is everything. And in agencies that are 10 million or more, the number is actually a lot higher. It's actually closer to 10% are less focused on the luxury end of the business. Now, we talked about, the investment that these cruise lines are making, these tour companies they're investing billions and billions of dollars because the demand is there. The demand is huge. So what gives? Why is agency focus down? It doesn't make sense to me. Well, the reason is that there's a tremendous shortage of qualified travel advisors to meet the demand. And I mentioned this earlier. When I say qualified, I'm not talking about just product knowledge. I'm talking about, knowing how to find them, knowing how to talk to them, knowing how to service them, knowing how to take care of a high value client. Okay, it's kind of like right now, you may be familiar with the airline industry. It is not growing. It is not growing because there is a pilot shortage, a critical shortage of airline pilots. Now, if an airplane doesn't have a pilot, it stays on the ground. If a cruise ship or a tour company doesn't have a qualified travel agent selling their product, what happens? That customer goes direct, and you're cut out of it altogether. So I think there is a tremendous opportunity here in this business for us all to make a ton of money. And we started today talking about opportunity. Okay, the opportunity is there. Most of you are probably here today because you want to build out your travel practice. You've got dreams and aspirations, but you just haven't figured out how to get there yet. How to really truly attract those affluent clientele. Or maybe you're stalled and you need to break through to the next level. Get what I call the gravy money, the big money. Okay, that's what's going to take you there. Or maybe you got another personal reason. Maybe you've got kids in college. Maybe you're trying to build a revenue stream for retirement. Everybody has their reasons for being here. This is something that really hits home to me. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, just say yes and learn how to do it later. I was given an amazing opportunity in my agency where I had the opportunity. I was asked if I wanted to bid on an incentive trip. I didn't know anything about incentives. I had no clue how to run them. I did. We ended up getting the business, and I ended up running incentive trips for Dell Computers for almost 3 years. Okay. That was me saying yes. You can say yes to an opportunity, and that opportunity is going to be here for the next 10 or 15 years because of the way the baby boomers are going. So the way I see it, you've got 3 choices. First is you can go at this alone. You can spend a ton of time and money, learn from your mistakes, trip up, get up, help up, whatever. It's going to take you a long time. Or you can let me help you through this and help you craft a business strategy that'll help take you step by step through your journey. Or lastly, I want you just to imagine if you don't do anything. What are the consequences if you don't do anything? The bus is going. You can either get on it or get left behind. Me, I want to be on it. So before we get into the Q&A, I'm going to just ask you for a couple minutes if I can share some information with you that'll help make a difference in your business. If that's okay, great. If not, I hope you learned a lot from today's presentation. I think it's all about doing the basics and doing the basics well. So Perry Longmus, who's the Vice President of Luxury Travel at the Travel Leaders Group, said this. He said, everybody needs an experienced guide to successfully bring their business to the next level. Okay, everyone needs someone to help them get to the next level. High-end travel sales is not for you. Okay, what I'm telling you today, what I'm sharing with you today, if you're not willing to make the commitment to grow your business, if you want something for nothing, okay, if you expect it just to come to you, just keep doing things the way you're doing things, it's not going to happen. Okay, this is not going to be for you. You should keep selling what you're selling right now. If you're looking to get rich quick, no, you're going to get some quick wins, but you should be willing to commit at least 3 years to growing this segment of your business. That's how important this is. The opportunity is there, but it's not going to happen overnight. I don't care what anybody tells you. you're going to have to work at it, and you're going to have to develop it, and you're going to have to work your butt off. Okay, so if you're not willing to do that and do some things that are a little different than you're probably doing right now, then, you know, keep doing what you're doing. This probably isn't for you. And lastly, if you're down to your last few dollars and you need to pay the rent, you need to put food on the table, this isn't probably not for you, because it's going to take a commitment of time, effort, and yes, money. Okay, you're going to have to commit some money along the way here to help grow that business. Just like any business requires capital to grow, so does this segment of the business. So it's going to require a real commitment from you. So here's what you can expect from me. Okay, I focus on achieving realistic outcomes, and we use systems and processes that will produce real attainable results, things that are going to maximize your commission and fee revenue. The program that I offer is based on firsthand experience. I did it. Okay, I didn't read about it. This isn't something that I just came up with. This is something that I did firsthand, and I've had the opportunity in my professional roles to see other very successful folks in this high-end clientele business and what they do, and have incorporated that in here as well. And I want you to keep a realistic perspective. Okay, you're going to expect to learn how to sell travel. Okay, most of what we share in this industry is how to market. Okay, but we don't get paid to market, we get paid to sell. So we've got to learn how to do that properly. And you can expect to work hard. When you do all of this, you can expect results. Okay, that's what you can expect from me. So the program is Secrets of Selling to the Affluent Traveler. This is the third year we've offered it. We only offer it twice a year because of what it is. Week one is understanding, and it's dripped out. You get a module each week, so that you're not overwhelmed. What we found is if you give it to you all at one time, then nobody finishes it. Okay, we want you to finish it and implement it. So understand the opportunity and the benefits of building the sales strategy. Weeks 2 and 3 is, really it's about mindset. It's about getting rid of the crap and getting your ship together. Week 4 is identifying affluent travelers by their individual and their common characteristics and how you can use those to your advantage. Week 5 is how to create the emotional connection. Basically, this is how to help you become an indispensable part of the vacation experience. Then in week 6, we really get into the direct referral marketing and how to harness that network with scripts and the how-to nuts and bolts, step by step, of how to actually use this to build your business up here. And once you've attracted the affluent clients, well, now you gotta sell to them. So we go through and we master the Wealthy Travel Agent sales process. And then the last module is about a plan. So at the end of each module, you have questions that you have to do. You've got exercises you have to complete, and they're not yes or no, check this, check that. No, these are essay questions. And what we do is we take those essay questions, the answers that you've given, and then we compile them and we build out an action plan, something you can keep on your desk, something you can look at every day so that you can stay focused on attracting high-end clientele. So the program includes 8 modules. You get the downloadable PDF slides. If you prefer to listen in the car or while you're out jogging, you got the MP3 files. So the audio files, you get the workbook, the direct referral marketing worksheets are part of this, the action plan template, email access to me. For those, even the people who were some of the first participants in the program, I still get emails from them. Your time doesn't cut off with me after 12 weeks or anything like that. I help out as long as you're here, because you own the program for life. Okay, and then we have a Facebook group as well. Now, one of the things that through our partnership with TRO, now they drive a hard bargain. These guys negotiated a heck of a deal, and because TRO is an educational organization more than anything else. Okay, so through our No Limits partnership, they've negotiated a 45% discount off the retail rate of the program. So you're going to save over almost $900 off the program. So you'll pay, if you pay in full, it's $1,090, or if you do monthly payments, it's only $109 there. But you have to enter in the code TRO. Okay, if you enter the code TRO, then you're going to receive the discount. As a special bonus, if you sign up, I'm going to mail to you, provided you're in the US and Canada. If you're not, I'll send you a PDF. I'm going to mail you a personalized copy of my book, Get Your Ship Together. Okay. Star Wadowski of Cruise Planners went through the program. Says it's a great investment for my business. It's already paying huge dividends, so much that she signed up for personal consultation. Okay, this system works, folks. And as a super special bonus, I'm going to also throw in for you a free private consultation. Okay, for those who do private coaching with me, it's $479 a month. Okay, you're going to get a private coaching session. So you're going to learn the program, you're going to build a plan around the program, and then I'm going to help you with strategies to implement the program one-on-one there. So we're not hanging you out to dry here. You get a lot of value with the program here. Jackie Friedman, who I respect a great deal, is president of Nexion, highly recommends me as a business advisor. So you get Secrets of Selling to the Affluent Traveler online coaching program. You get a personalized copy of Get Your Ship Together, and you get that free private one-on-one coaching session with me. Talk about ROI, you earn your money back. First sale, you know, Affluent sales have the commissions come with commas in them, folks. So this pays for itself very, very quickly. The ROI is probably better than anything else you're going to invest in the business. So how do you do it? So just go to danchappelle.com. Just danchappelle.com, homepage comes up, click on Enroll Now. That'll take you to here, the pricing option. You can pick one of the two pricing options. And then on the next screen, you put the coupon code TRO in, and then it comes up with the discount that TRO has negotiated with me of 45% off. So that'll give you your price for paying in full, and also if bring it down to $109 a month for 12 months if you choose that route there. So again, you get the Secrets of Selling to the Affluent Traveler online coaching program. You get your own personalized copy of my best-selling book, and you get the free one-on-one business consultation with me once you finish the program there. But remember, you got to use the code. I reminded it's on the website. Everything's there. So thank you so much for having me today, and let's open it up, Lee, to questions.
Thank you, Dan. Great presentation as always, and we do have some terrific questions here. So this one came in. I don't think we've ever had this question, and I kind of like it. The question is, how should I dress when I'm meeting with my travel clients?
That's actually a great question. You know, you want to dress professionally, and depends on what that is, who your clientele is. So when I was in Austin and I had my agency, I dressed typically in khakis and a polo, or in the summertime I'd wear khaki shorts, polo, and boat shoes, because I sold fun. You know, I had one of, when we were part of Virtuoso at the time, and one of the fellow agency owners there was just appalled that that's how I dressed. But that's who my clients were. They would have been uncomfortable if I was in coat and tie, as would I, for that matter. So you want to dress nice. You want to look professional. Today's business environment tends to be more casual than it has been in the past. And most of the folks that you're going to deal with are probably going to be more casual as well. You're selling fun. You're selling vacations, so you don't necessarily have to dress up in a coat and tie or a nice dress or anything, but just look professional. Look clean, crisp, and professional. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you. All right. Another question. You talked about specializing. How do you choose what to specialize in when you live in a smaller city, so less than 100,000 people?
Well, I don't think.
Are you limiting yourself if you specialize in a smaller city?
No, because when you specialize, it doesn't mean that's all you do. That's the focus of what you do, but that's not all you do. The thing about when you specialize, that's when you really truly start attracting. Okay, so you'll actually, once you specialize, you're going to find that you have even more business than what you probably think you're going to get. And in fact, you'll probably be turning away some of the stuff that you don't necessarily want to do, that you have to do right now just to pay the bills. But as your reputation grows and as you grow as a specialist, then for sure, yeah, it doesn't matter. 100,000 people, that's a pretty good sized place. You know, remember, the internet is all over the world too. So you've put yourself out. You don't just think local, think global. okay, when you're talking about being a specialist. And that will open up a whole new realm for you. You know, one of the things that was just, and I'm just going to throw this out there, when I was with WinStar, I was in charge of charters and incentives as well. It would amaze me the companies that chartered the boats, the ships. There was a company out of California that did tandem bicycle tours that would charter the WinStar ships and take their tandem bicycles. I mean, there's a huge crowd for that. That's what they specialized in. Or the Jimmy Buffett cruises, or the gay and lesbian charters and things like that. So there's groups you can specialize in. Okay, you don't have to limit yourself to a geographical area. But the better you know it, the more of an expert you are, the more your reputation is going to grow, and the more you're going to attract those affluent clients.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And so what do you suggest when your affluent client now wants to travel outside of your area of expertise?
Well, I wouldn't turn the business away, because that's part of, they're already your client. You don't want to send them somewhere else because you risk them not coming back. But as I said, as a specialist, it doesn't mean that's all you do, but that's the focus of what you do. So if you have, let's say, as part of the direct referral marketing, you have specifically gone out and found this client and they're attracted to you, you booked them, they're happy with your service, now they want to do something else, absolutely you book them, because you've already brought them into your clientele mix. They are who you want to do business with, not just because it's specific to the specialty. They're probably the type of person you want to do business with. They're probably not a jerk. They're probably good people. And you know what? You develop relationships and you keep building, and you use them because now they're part of your immediate circle of influence. That first level, you use them to get to people that they associate with, because people tend to run in the same socioeconomic packs. So once you get in with one, then it's going to start growing exponentially from there.
All right.
That answer the question?
Yes, I think it did. Thank you. So thinking about marketing, what percentage of a luxury agent's typical work week should be devoted to marketing? This is asked by a home-based sole proprietor.
That is a great question, and it depends on what you call marketing. So in sales, you have prospecting and then you have marketing. They're two very different disciplines, but they achieve the same result. And all of your marketing is there to support your sales efforts. So from a marketing standpoint, you want to tend to be fairly strategic with your emails that go out, your website, things like that. When you get into the direct referral marketing, that is something that I would spend as much time as necessary. For what I recommend is that you block off time each week, maybe an hour every day or an hour once a week, to reach out to your immediate circle of contacts to ask for the referrals, to get to those people that you want to do business with. There's no cut and dry answer on this. If you're not getting any business at all right now, I'd be 100% of it. If you're pretty busy, then you allot an hour or two here and there wherever you can do it. The important thing is to do it. It's not just to block the time, it's to take that time, turn off all distractions, and make the phone calls or send out the emails directly and ask for those direct referrals.
Thank you, Dan. And this question came in. It says, I have many affluent clients because of my specialties, but I have a hard time getting them to book again. How can I develop repeat business and make myself invaluable to my clients?
So that's another great question, and that has to do with retention, and that's part of a sales acceleration framework that you need to spend as much, if not more time, retaining those clients as you do attracting them. Because once you've got them, the initial expense is up front. Now that you've got them, hopefully they're happy with you. If they're not booking with you, then why not? I mean, that's the question I would probably ask them. Why aren't you booking with me again? So that, it might be you. It might be that they just don't think that you do the type of business, you may specialize in river cruises, and they may think that you don't sell African safaris. Okay, so ask the question. I would, particularly if it's a lot of your clientele that don't come back, it's worth picking up the phone and calling a few of them, because you do have a relationship with them to a certain degree. Now, if you have, they go on their trip and they come back and they don't hear from you again, shame on you. Okay, you need to maintain that relationship. Okay, whether it's through electronically, through some automated newsletters and email posts or whatever. But more importantly, particularly if they're affluent clients, you pick up the phone and you call them. Okay, and you wish them happy birthday, and you call just to see how they're doing, because it's about building the relationship and keeping that relationship. And when someone has a relationship with you, they're a lot less likely to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. So I bet this happens a lot. The question, the statement that came in, I have a doctor and I've been trying to get her to book with me, but she has a friend, and this friend is not a travel agent, but is doing her booking. How do I get her to let me book for her? And I bet that happens not only with friends helping friends, but one spouse thinking they can do it. So how do you get that out of their hands and take over that?
Well, if the other person is doing the booking, are they booking it through a travel agent? Would be the first question I would have. Are they dealing with somebody else? If they are dealing direct, then you should show your value. What do you bring to the table? And not from a pricing standpoint necessarily, but, here I can get you the same trip with these extra added value amenities. I can help you with your insurance. I can help you with your excursions. You can help them save money along the way and create a better value from the trip. You're not going to get them all. Some people just, they just like doing it themselves. That's the DIY mentality that a lot of people have. But it's our job is to, prove our value, at least show them that we can do a better job, because this is what we do professionally. And maybe you position it to them, say, you know what, you're a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Okay, this is what I do for a living. That's what you do for a living. What if I tried to do what you do? Most doctors can't do what we do. They think they can, but they can't. Okay, because it takes a certain amount of education, a certain amount of expertise just to book a trip. Okay, Expedia is great for air car hotel, but when you talk about resorts and choosing the right resorts and the right rooms or the right cruise ship and everything's got personality. So that's where we wrap our value up, and that's where we show them. And I think you just sit down with the doctor and say, this is what I can do for you. You may be able to do it yourself for the exact same price, but I can do this, this, and this, and this, and I'm standing there behind it, and you don't have to do anything. I take care of it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Thank you.
It's a tough question.
All right.
It really is a tough
question.
I get it.
It is. That is a toughie. Okay. So let me ask you just a last question. This is actually about the program, and then I'll turn it back to you for closing comments. So it's an 8-week course. Is there a beginning and end date? And if you can't do it in 8 weeks, what happens?
So is there a beginning time? Yeah, pretty much when you sign up is when the introduction starts. It releases on September the 7th so that everyone kind of goes through it. Each module has the opportunity to go through each module at the same time. If you get behind, that's okay. That's the beauty of this, is you can come back whenever you want to. You own it. It's yours for life. You have access to it for as long as you want it. You'll have access to any updates that are done to it. In fact, the program that's there right now is brand new as of last December. It replaced a program that I had before that. So as I update them, you still get it. It's yours. And you can always go back and reference it, and you can always come back to questions with me and things like that. So you go at your own pace. What I just know is this, is that if you when you're in school, they don't just hand you everything and say, okay, complete the assignment and turn it in for your grade. No, you learn a little bit at a time, and that's how the educational pyramid works. It's inverted. So you learn a little bit, and as you add to it, so you can learn at your own pace. That's what this is all about. But it's just not dumped on you. So it's an 8-week program in theory. You can do it in 12. You can do it in a year. I've had people that have taken over a year to do it, just because they do it when it fits their schedule. But the thing is, what you learn out of it is real information that you can implement into your business to make a real difference in your business. This is nuts and bolts. This is not just, all about mindset. Although I will share this, you're going to hear this from me. You're going to hear it from other coaches. You're going to hear it from, inside the industry and not. Professional athletes who really truly excel at what they do, they focus a lot on the mind. And a lot of selling to affluent travelers has to do with being in the right frame of mind. It's not being afraid to sit down and talk to them. It's being able to have a conversation as a peer. It's getting past some barriers that we have and getting past that pucker point. And that's part of what we go in here. And some of it's getting rid of what I call getting rid of the crap. You got to get rid of the bad and then build on the new, and then you can structure your whole learning environment and your business to build it the way you want to build it. You don't have to take every sale that walks across your plate. Okay, you can take the ones that make sense for your business. And the more you specialize, the more you're going to attract higher end clientele.
All right, Dan, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
Well, I want to thank you again for joining us today. As I said, there's a lot of interest in this. There's a lot of opportunity. My gosh, I cannot tell you how much opportunity is out there and will be out there. This is almost like picking money up off the street, but you've got to make the commitment to do it. It's not a get rich quick. It's not a something for nothing scheme. This is a commitment to get in and build a section of your business that you can grow over time. And what you'll find is the more you grow it, the more you're going to like it. You get to travel on those products yourself. You get to cater. You're dealing with people who get value. They have realistic expectations. It's a great segment to be in, and anybody can do it. Anybody, if you set your mind to committing to grow this piece of your business, you can do it, and I can help you. That's what I'm here for, is I'm here to help you get through that path that you might stumble upon in a lot of ways, because I've done it. I've made those mistakes. You can learn from me. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderful sharing this with you. I really appreciate all your support. I'm so grateful that you've taken time out of your day to learn the secrets of selling to the affluent traveler. It's such a great opportunity. I hope everyone takes advantage of it.